Uh, Whenever we make mathematical modeling kind of activity modules, a lot of times we need users input. Okay, if you don't make really dynamic ones, right? So it's not everything is preset. Then it's just click and go to the next step, and that's done, right? But sometimes we want the user's input in the middle of this process, and it's going to be looks way better and more effective. So in this task, we want to show how we put some kind of message box, and within there we could request users input in there. It's more simple, just yes and no, but we see how it works, right? Okay, let's open this set, and it comes with this one again, and open Visual Basic, and let's choose this pre-existing the code that we made in the previous task. And at the top of the macro module, and below, of course, the public the title in here, we want to put macro name equals rearrange. Okay, so let me just copy and paste here. That, and this name will be used for the message display in the dialog box, right? So we just keep this one. Okay, so it's not a big deal, but it's very handy if you have this one, then it will show as a title of your message box. Okay, and the next one is between n rows and a route, make a one space between there and place this code in there. Then, okay. Of course, without any space. Show that one. So it doesn't look like a good way to see it. So this one, and do this part, and if and message, I think it's good. So we know this is a new part, right? So before doing these rearrangements, it just do something right in there. After calculating how many columns and rows we have, and right. Okay, so let's try to look at this part. It has a string, right? So right now MSG is just variable for a string, the text part, and that text part is this one. So this macro may override, oops, okay, so it's the cells starting at range shown, okay, whatever it is, and apply message box. So in message box, to remember, whenever you try to make a message box, previously we didn't have this one, and just simply saying message box and maybe message, right? Then that message box shows this text part, and that's all. But if you want to include something else more than just one string or text, this is how we define, right? So message box open parenthesis, and MSG means, yeah, we want to show this one in there, but and we're going to put there, and you remember this, right? It's carry over, right? Make the next line, and this one we just simply add this one with this thing, but this underscore means inside this Visual Basic we want change the line, but it doesn't affect because this command comes in within one line, right? So if you put this whole thing in here, then you have to move over there to look at it, right? So this is very handy. So if you want to do the same thing, you can put this one, the underscore here, and hit enter. Okay, maybe some space like that. Then you're going to have it. So be careful, that space might appear in your text, right? And when you see the message, right? So this is going to be good, right? So within the Visual Basic, it looks like we changed the line, but in actual results, it doesn't have anything, right? It's just within one line. Okay? So underscore is for only Visual Basic programming, but this one is actual changing line command, right? So inside the message box, we are going to have the first line with that text, and second line looks like this. And now that part is combined with a text. Do you want to continue? we're just asking the user's opinion, and they have to choose either yes or no, right? And this is what makes that part, right? And this is macro name, which is assigned here, right? So that is a variable, string variable, and that string is rearranged, right? So you can imagine in message box, the first line looks like this macro will rearrange whatever like that. And do you want to continue? Do you want to rearrange it? Yes and no for that rearrange, right? Okay. And this code is handling according to the choices, right? So if, and that is reply, right? So whatever they choose, that's the variable for this, that's the value for this variable, reply. So reply could be yes or no, right? So if the reply results is less than, greater than, means not equal to that, right? So if the return results is not yes, that's the meaning of it here. So saying the user clicked no, I don't want to rearrange, right? Then what this one do? We just shows message box macro abandoned, okay? And click OK. It's only putting the OK sign in there, okay? And that's it. And exit the sub. So this is very handy. Look at here. We don't want to do anything more, right? Because the user says, yeah, I don't want any rearrangements. So okay, then it's your lose, and we want to just leave this whole macro. So put this exit sub in the middle of this coding instead of here. It's gonna stop there, right? So whenever this program run into there and arrive this line, then the next line says stop there, right? Then it's not going to do anything more. But if the replied answer is yes, then we don't want to do this. It goes to here, right? That means is what? Yeah, we don't need to do anything here. Just go to the next line, right? So we are going to finish this if parts and just do the remaining part of this code. Okay, can you see that? Right? So that's the whole thing we want to do. So it's just only one example, but in here you could see many kind of steps that we really need to make our own kind of teaching module or anything, right? So I hope this is really helpful for your programs. So let's just run this. Sorry, it just says debugging. Dearrange. Oh, see that? Because when you make a names, it's only for this one, right? So in this case, when you select this area, this range, it has name. But in here, we didn't do that yet. Okay, so we have to do that part. Okay, so let me do this one first. I have to select it, right click, define name, area. Okay, and at this moment it should be this. So if you want, instead of each one of these, you can just say workbook, right? Then it just cover the whole thing. Then you're not going to have this error message at this moment, right? In the okay. But anyway, so that's the one. And the next one is we need to assign that, right, in I1. So let me copy the name of that range and click I1 and choose define name. Name is that, and that is only for this worksheet. Click OK, and hopefully this is okay. So let me stop this running and rerun this code by clicking this one. Now I think it's working right now. Okay, when you start running it, the title shows rearrange. Okay, so that's how we put our title for this small window, and it says this macro may override cells starting at the range show. Okay, but in here, right, so it should select these 3 cells, right? Okay, and change the line and do you want to continue? Okay. So let me click no first, right? No. Then macro is abandoned. Okay. And it doesn't do anything, right? So it's working good. Then let me run this one again. Do you want to continue? Yes. Then it's run through this macro and doing all this stuff. Okay. Now you may feel like, okay, then whenever we run it, if it's finished the whole running that macro, then do you have to see this code, right? It's really bothering me, right? Because we want to see just results. We can do that, of course. We are going to cover that a little bit later. So just please be patient for that.